a Dyson DC27 of some designation, judging by the orange, probably the basic one. This is a machine that I don't actually know too much about, despite having owned this one for a really long time. So it's time for me to stop staring at it out of the corner of my eye, being a little bit nervous of it, because I've heard tales that these aren't that fun to work on. And we'll go through this fairly unpopular, I want to say, machine and see what's wrong with it and what we have to do to get it working. Yes, hello my vacuum cleaner chums. Gosh, that looks awful. How are you today? Still looks awful. Yes, I think this one came from Mr. Jake, who very kindly gives me lots of rubbish. I mean, lots of lovely, beautiful vacuum cleaners of all shapes, sizes, colour, race, motor power, whatever. Have a DC27. Yeah, I've not actually had one of these before. They were quite uncommon anyway in the UK. It's only really other collectors who I've ever really known have one, although a bit more on that later. So yeah, basically we're going to see what it needs. I'm fairly sure I was told it needs a motor, so we shall get to that in a bit. But we have a healthy, filthy cable as always, with the style of the era, square plug with added whatnot. Fair enough. It's very DC. It's like a cross between the 25 and my 17, but I don't think it's quite the same as the 17. I don't think it's that powerful. Basically 33 on steroids. Now, trying to pull the wand out and hang on. Hello, look at the mess behind me. Look, it's missing. It's clipped there. And all the hoses in mint, look at that mint hose there. Why are you not, oh blimey, look, there's, okay, cool, there we go. Problem instantly, and this isn't a particularly terrible problem, because that is missing its clip. So, I can't bring that down to show you now without putting it into the machine, but it should click onto there so that it stays there and the wand goes up and down the middle. The fact that it's not is a minor inconvenience at best. There we go. So cool. That's nice to see though. Look at that. That is, quick wash is going to bring that up fine. And I've got some spare 25 rubbishy hoses with missing ends that I can take the cap from that off. I think all the caps, you know, the tool latches and all sorts fit that. So that is nice. The whole thing's falling off at the bottom as well, by the looks of it. So we'll take that off as well. I think that's had a new hose at some point. That is very clean for a used machine. Right, let's take the bin off, which is very similar to DC14 really. I think it is. You could probably fit that straight on a 14 and probably fit it straight on a 25. That is that, and yeah. Now we have ourselves a very heavy chassis. Let's move down and see what else we find. Probably start to take a look at the filters, which will tell us stuff. What this one's telling me is that there's no filter, so that's a thing. The only way I can see to release the post motor filter is to undo the latches. And blimey, somebody's been in there before. I don't think there's a filter in it. Hang on. Yes! Now, this is going to make diagnosing it a little bit easier, because I took off this and found this laying in there, which is supposed to go on the top as a form of motor cover. So we can look together at what does this thing need. Look at that. It needs a motor. So that's easily sorted that one out, isn't it? But they are cheapy, box standardy YDKs. So that is not too bad, I'll be honest, and those screws are fine. I've got millions of screws, so I'll pop that back on, and yeah, I don't think we're going to be firing this one up in this video I don't. But we can look underneath and see that, oh, it's missing its hose. And that is something that I'm sure I have been told, and this is that they're very expensive. And I remember when Mr. Tayab first knew I got this, I was like, oh, check that hose, and I didn't, and it's missing. Ah, what a bummer. We have ourselves a redesigned U-bend. Look, I don't quite know why this failed, because the DC33, they didn't bother with it. Probably has some sort of hilarious reason why not to. And this is the fabled clutch release mechanism, which moves the clutch in much the same way as it used to do off the side of the, you know, this bit. It now does elsewhere. So we have no hose, but look at that mint brush roller. It's very soft. Ooh, that is very soft indeed. This is very curious. This is almost as if it's a breaker machine. I mean, I think it might be. Mr. Jake might have pilfered it for parts, but I don't remember him saying it to me. I think he bought it as a project and then didn't want it as a project himself, which is fair enough. So, that is a bit curious, but everything else looks mint, which is why I can't quite work out why that's missing. So, that's that then, and yeah, that is a DC27. Wonder what the other one's going to be like. Yeah, the other one. Not too long after I got this one, actually. This popped up on Facebook for a tenner. So I grabbed it for spares. And already I am glad I did. Now this one has been in the shed pretty much since it came out of the car. And I would wager that was over a year ago. And it's been mouldy. It's sorted itself out now that it's not really damp and horrible in the shed. But crikey, it is not a happy bunny. I'm not a happy bunny either, because I just realised, look, I cable tied, this is how I store machines in the shed, otherwise the cable will flop off. There we go. So we have ourselves a different type of plug. We have moved on now to the round style. That's actually quite handy, because putting that one away, there is a nick on its cable. So already we have a flex that we need. We also have a little button on our hose, so hopefully we can lift, yes, and off it comes. And oh wow, look at that. This hose is filthy and broken. Honestly, trust me when I say that I have not looked at these before doing this video. This is all just a slightly happy-ish coincidence. I mean, I'd like to get both working, but already, so I've heard rumours about that hose. We don't even know if this one has it yet, so we shall pipe down for a minute. Everything else is just worse in every possible way, really. This is very different. I should explain. Look, the bins, one is completely battered and the other one is just a bit better. So yeah, these machines have led very different lives. And yeah, that one looks like that. This one is just like a DC33, like exactly like a DC33, which will take off the filter and lift this one up. Hopefully there's nothing living in it. And yeah, here is our, okay, that is different. That is slightly bespoke. It does smell burny. I think we'll leave that out and check the motor. Because again, the bloke said this one had burnt out as well. So yeah, here is our, oh, that's a good sign. Checking it's not a mouse. We've had that before. Look, there is a piece of the cyclone gasket in the pre-motor filter. I suppose we've had worse, haven't we? We've had mice before, so that tells me the state of the cyclone in this one. Let us, I can see the motor's gone just by the amount of black, but so far at least, I'm only buying one motor. Looking at this through my viewfinder for the first time with you, and oh gosh, yes, that is cracking. There's nothing even, yeah, that has exploded a dead, good and bad. I think these must have the same odd reputation that the DC33 did. DC33 is renowned for blowing its motor up for fun, despite it being, I think it might have been a different batch originally, but you know, the same physical motor as all the others. Remarkable, isn't it? Well done, Dyson. So, we're releasing into this for on. Problem when these get really bratty, nothing moves. Big question then is, and this all hinges on this really, what does the underneath look like? Oh, it has a hose. Ah. And it's not split, I think. The most valuable part of the whole machine. So, okay, we have ourselves, let's get a little bit closer. There we go, you can see the grimness close up. Yes, we have ourselves a hose, a floppy hose, because I don't think it does much in the way of springing on these models. Oh, why won't you? Ah. Oh. Whoa, what's going on? Something's jammed up here, look. This isn't particularly happy. Oh well, this has the same style brush roll, still quite soft and a lot worn. So, I mean, I'm sure you're playing along at home and you're probably shouting the same thing at me. I think I'm only going to refurbish one of these, and I do have to say that it's probably going to end up being this one that stays alive, because it's just better overall. This one's all scraped and scuffed and awful, whereas that one is better. Oh, I can check the serial numbers. 1400 watts, 1400 watts. So just a design change, and I'd imagine this one would be the earlier one because of the non-user replaceable filter, and then this one came after. I don't know. Oh look, I've noticed this on 07s and 04s. Look, a split and perished rubber seal. This one is not split and perished, look. That's the wrong way around anyway. Excellent, right, oh my goodness. So, one of these is definitely going to live. I don't think there's much point in me doing both of them, which is a slight shame, because yeah, I do prefer the gold cyclone top. But again, it's missing a lot of rubbish around it. I mean, that's peeling off. Yeah, it's a lot more scraped up than this one, despite this one being covered in bird poo. Thanks, Phoenix. Coming down a bit. He's up there, chewing me lights. How filthy it is, look. I've just wound the cable up on one of them. Ugh. Wash my hands. Oh, well, there we go then. I've been keeping basically a scrap machine for no reason, because yes, this should be one of those classic, you know, 1s and 2, and probably have a word with people I know who are in the nod for these things and see if any of the body shells are worth keeping on the one that we don't keep. But yeah, I think, so I've been washing my hands, look, you see, I do keep myself clean, mummy. Motor and a set of filters in isolation, you know, 35 quid, £15 for a YDK, and then a tenner for a set of filters. Two of those is suddenly £80, and then we also need 2 hoses, because yeah, this one's broken. One of them's broken. Although we do now have our spare clip. So yeah, it does make a lot of sense to just spend the £35 on one and put as many of the decent bits into the other as possible, and then who knows what else with the rest will work that out. So there we go. I can see why these were unpopular already, even though these are only really saved because they use cheap motors. I'm not going to lie, if they use like some weird fancy £30–40 motor like some of them do, no chance, straight off to the bin. But yeah, I think we can find it in the Beko 1987 budget to put a motor and a set of filters with it. Who knows, I might even add it to my wish list and see if Shitey Vacuum Santa makes it land on my step. But who knows. But for now, at least we've gone through them and I can add it to the job list and know where we stand. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Have you ever had the delights of a working DC27? How should I expect it to work? Because I've not used one ever, I don't think. Find out soon enough. But yeah, for now, let me know your thoughts. Oh, tools! Tools! Look, neither of them have got any tools. And again, I think I've got enough random because they're only DC25 tools. I have 1 set, 2 sets. Wow, that's in taking a set away from a tidy DC40 one day. Oh. Problem when you do economics and with maths, you end up talking yourself out of work, but that's no bad thing. We don't need to do both of them. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and probably that orange one, will see you soon. Bye bye.